savings, and when you look at the volume of employees that we have, we saved quite a bit throughout the course of the year. That's why, in fact, the entire affiliate of Lincoln Way Insurance, no one realized a rate increase for the upcoming year. And so everyone was balanced out. We don't know where this year will go in terms of our fund balances, but we're hoping to keep those increases minimal again. In terms of an overall $1 million savings, I'd have to get the records to quantify that, but I know our savings was significant this year.
Okay. So what did we move from? I know we talked a little bit as the meeting was started.
Just a little history on that.
We were, and I can't even think of the group we were in. It was a different network, and essentially what, I guess it was probably 2 or 3 years ago, Lincoln Way went out and shopped ourselves to see what comparables we could get, because the district had not shopped insurance in a number of years. And in meeting with Blue Cross Blue Shield, it became apparent that we would see significant savings if we were to move into their network. And it's the in-network savings. Brought that back to the cooperative, and the entire cooperative then started the process to get prices, and they were much better across the board. Much better across the board.
Okay. So we were self-insured.
We are self-insured. We are self-insured within this cooperative. Okay, so our money is separate. Our money is separate within the Lincoln Way affiliation. So there's a number of other groups. Ours is separate, but we're still a member of that cooperative, which gets us the better rates. But our money is separate.
We were self-insured before the cooperative as well.
Still in it, though.
Still in
We've
it.
been in it for a number of years.
Okay.
So we're self-insured within the cooperative.
Mike, help me out. What was the name of our insurance before we went Blue Cross Blue Shield?
Professional benefits.
The PBA was the administrator. I can't think of that. No, it wasn't that. No. Yeah, I can't think of who we went from.
Okay.
But we started that process that would have been 3 years ago.
Okay, yeah, and just, as we move to accrual accounting, I think that's one area where we have quite a bit of liability. We're self-insured, and we're paying claims as they're processed. I'm sure there's quite a lag there. And also, do we have a reserve? How do we handle the fluctuation? 5 people get very sick one year and 15 people get very sick the next.
We do have a reserve, and that's go ahead, Chris.
Well, I just want to say, we haven't made the move to accrual accounting.
Right.
Okay. I didn't.
Okay,
Well,
so
that's what I thought. That's what you said.
Well, 2 things. When we do make the move
Yeah,
to accrual
yeah.
accounting, I think there's likely a big hit that's going to be taken from benefits. So the $1 million of savings, I'd like to see that quantified, but also keep in mind, we're cash basis. So when you go see the doctor, your bill might not get paid for 2 or 3 months. And
Sure.
so we're paying bills 3 months old.
Sure.
If you do move to accrual accounting, that's going to be a big hit, and it's going to bite into that $1 million. But then also just from a risk level, that reserve. I mean, what is that reserve? Where is that reserve? Because I know Blue Cross Blue Shield will provide you a statement at the end of the year. It will tell you your claims filed not paid yet, and it will also tell you. Give you an estimate of what your reserve should be. Do we know what that number is from Blue Cross?
Not off the top of my head, but we have monthly meetings with the affiliation where we go through everything. And Shorewood Insurance Agency, Mark Taylor keeps us very informed with where we are, and he does to everyone in the group.
So, and what is our stop loss?
That's on our contract. Our stop loss, I don't remember how many million it was, Norm. I'd have to look at the contract, but it's been all put together. We have an agent, as I said, Mark Taylor from Shorewood does all that for us.
Okay. I see from fiscal year 16 actual to fiscal year 17 budget, we got $3.3 million in salary savings. Can you comment on that? I know we lost 33 positions is what I understand, due to closing the north and our restructuring. I guess what I'm going for, and I think as you head into budget hearings, you're going to be asked this question. I mean, did closing North save us the $5 million? How?
Yeah, I think when you
how
look at the
does
bottom line, it did, Norm. If you look at the last page of everything in the O&M, it did. And once again, this is a conservative budget, and this is our overview of this budget. We will certainly be at least $5 million better than we had if we had operated 4 high schools.
I see that, but can we isolate the specifics to closing North?
Yeah, we'll continue to work to do that. We do have a savings in salaries. We have a savings in purchase services. We'll continue to work through this, but certainly you'll see that savings.
And I'm not trying to throw a monkey wrench in here, but you're going to get this question over and over again.
They don't answer it.
And once again, tonight was an overview of the budget,
Yeah.
and as we continue to develop and work through this, we'll be ready to answer some of those line-by-line questions. But there is a significant reduction in salaries. We've kept benefits where they are, and we will be able, as we work through this process, to continue to prove where we will save that, have those savings.
So I think one thing that would be...
Please, folks, can you please just allow us to have this open discussion, please? Thank you.
One thing that would be extremely helpful would be a head count report. So, I don't have any idea right now how many employees the district has. I come from, we have a report, approved positions. Obviously, some of them are vacant positions, retired people due to, other reasons for leaving the job. But we always know exactly what our head count is, and kind of where I'm going and why I think that's such an important control is, I see the $3.2 million worth of savings, and that's great. I want to make sure we're able to maintain that. I want to make sure that there's control over bringing new people on.
Sure. That's not just eating right back up by.
Yeah. So I think that should be visible. And, in the budget process, I'm looking at the numbers, I see the savings. I've been up here, I've been trying to figure it out. I don't understand how it's possible that we could not have eliminated 33 people amongst the 4 schools versus the 3. I don't understand the reasoning that it was required to close the school. 33 people is 8.25 people per school. If I do just some guesstimating, I would guess, our average salary is around $100,000 at the $480 million salary cost last year. That's about 480 people. Just guesstimating that would put 120 people at each of our 4 schools.
Norm,
I don't understand.
I'm just going to stop you right here. I understand your concern, and I want to have these discussions, but I think we need to make sure that we're
Why don't you just answer the
looking
question?
forward at our budget. This budget process is long and developed, and there's a lot to this. And looking at what has already transpired, decisions that have already been made on this board by the board are not going to help this district. They're not going to help this committee. What's going to help this committee and what's going to help this district is moving forward and looking at what's in front of us and trying to make the best financial decisions we can with what we have at hand.
I agree absolutely that we have to move forward, but I have to understand the past.
I understand, and we will give you the context of that, but obviously going through hypothetical situations of what if we would have not made decisions that have already been made.
I don't want to go through hypotheticals.
Well, you just proposed one. What if we didn't close North?
No, my question is, could each of the 4 schools operate in the same fashion
The
as
answer is
the
no.
state
The answer is
with
no.
less people?
And you can ask some of our teachers at the building. The answer is no.
I would like the principals to respond. Can they operate their schools with 8 less people? Simple question. I think it deserves an answer, and I think you're going to get that question over and over again until it's answered.
We will ask the principal. We'll get an answer for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
With no other business, I take a motion to adjourn.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Going back to Nancy's from last what's it called, conversation.
Uh-huh.
I know at the last board meeting, you guys voted to ask for a $90,000 increase. I'm only going off of straight from what the papers indicated, that Nancy's was going to increase the rates for the individuals that are using the daycare. They were going to increase the rates from $700 to $800 per family per year. There's 132 families in there. It's an easy math process. 132 times 700 will be an extra $92,000. Well, so what? It's easy to think about. What they're doing is we're asking them for $90,000. All they're doing is pushing it to those 132 people that are using it. In fact, and as it sees no decrease in their profit. In fact, if it's $700, they see $2,000 net gain. If they go $800, it's $105,000, almost $20,000.
Just let them go.
So my question is on at Nancy's, there should be no reason that you're asking for an increase, and they're just going to cover that with an increase to the people.
And I know the board is very cognizant of that, and I know the negotiations are still ongoing there.
Really?
And
Really?
hopefully we'll have a decision
People have been
for you,
talking.
By our next board meeting, because I know we're
With
coming across the
administration.
wire. I know that the administration has been working and talking at length about that, and we share everyone's concerns on both sides of
What I think
No.
you should do is look at how much they're going to increase the
Sure.
rates, and definitely charge them almost double that. Honestly,
Triple.
I mean, they should be seeing a decrease in their profit.
Mm-hmm.
Because
They've
realistically,
already issued a letter to the parents and have increased it by 6%.
They have.
And
So that's, if
and I
you
guess
are
here's,
still negotiating.
here's where we're at. The
No,
board can, I guess, approve their best and final. If the board chooses not to, the board has a 90-day out. At any time, Aunt Nancy's can exercise a 90-day out. As we've talked about, the timing of this is poor. We, so
get all year.
we're gonna, it's at the board level now, and we'll have discussions
board
at the
level.
next board meeting and go from there.
Can I just, if the negotiations are still going on, the 90 day is 90 days to get out. But regarding if we begin to charge Aunt Nancy's, is that an immediate? Or do they have 90 days to say, I'm not going to do it, so we're leaving?
It would be an annual remittance, because right now, they're under, the agreement they're under has been in place for a number of years. So they don't have to sign a new agreement. They can simply say, in 90 days, we were no longer going to provide the service, or the board can say, in 90 days, we no longer would require the service.
It's going to go down one of three roads. Either they're going to pay up on an agreed upon amount that we're going to discuss in open session, they're going to walk away, or we're going to walk away. One of those three things is going to happen.
But if they don't have one, are you guys willing in the negotiations, or I know you said you're cognizant of what we're talking about,
Yeah.
Mike brought up, but is that going to be an issue with the negotiations, stating?
Oh, sure,
you
we
can't
don't,
go on all these
and I'm
years?
speaking personally, I don't want to see them just tack that additional revenue on the back of the
They
teachers.
are.
That's not
They
fair.
are.
They need to pay, in my opinion, they need to pay to play.
But they've already sent a
Give
letter
them
out
90-day notice.
before the beginning of the school.
Please, folks, let us please just have this conversation, okay? Thank you.
I just
The
spoke to a
choice
teacher
is-
today, and she received a letter that
Yes.
it's going up
6%.
6%.
Right.
So if it's going up 6%, and you haven't even said there's a set dollar amount we're gonna charge you, I mean, she is knocking herself, if we were comparable to other areas, other daycares in the area,
They're higher.
what benefit are we bringing?
They're higher.
What are they doing for us? And again, I believe it has to be a profit center, not a benefit. I'll get that clear, because I think it should be total profit, but I don't think the profit should be coming off the backs of the individuals using the services, especially in light of how many
Teachers.
years she has gone without paying any type of overhead. So therefore,
Please.
I just wanted it clear that it just seems that I'm a business person, I come from that background, I'm all about making dollars, people should make profits, but there comes a point where she should, something has to be said. And I understand it's up to you board, how you decide or what you're,
Right,
which
and
way
I
you're
think-
going, but that should be a consideration in the negotiation. How could she have the nerve to send a letter out a week before school and increase at 6%? Now these, we talked
I
about
understand.
90 days, the
I
teachers don't
understand
have
that,
anywhere
and
to
I
put
think
their
you
kid,
heard
but-
at the last board meeting, a couple of different opinions from the board, but all of them were I think, pretty clear to me that, we wanted Aunt Nancy's to pay.
But she didn't.
But that contract is still, we're looking to try and cement that contract, and if not, the board will come to a decision, and whatever the board decides to do, that'll be an open public. And I appreciate your input from the unions and from our teacher. We've heard from a number of the teachers who have come out and spoken to us, and we look at all sides of it. And I do appreciate your input, and it's very important to get the input from all sides. You have a motion to adjourn. Motion, second? All in favor? Aye.